How's it going, guys? My name is Kane for Gains. Thanks for choosing the channel today. So, UFC 287, Adesanya versus Perieria 2 is on tomorrow. A huge main card. So, I thought it'd be pretty fun to go ahead and give you my predictions and breakdown of tomorrow's fight. Now, a couple things, okay? Just a couple things. I'm only going to be doing the main card. That's it, just the main card. And I'm going to be doing a follow-up video of the biggest winners and losers of that card's event. So watch out for that. Probably will upload it either Sunday or Monday whenever I get time to it. And lastly, I don't claim to be a betting expert. I just claim to be a casual UFC fan. I'm not even a hardcore fan. I just know most of the big names. I know most of the fighters on the main cards on UFC events. And that's about it. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. I'm not giving you no financial advice. So let's go ahead and just jump into this bad boy. Go ahead and minimize my head here. Alright, so our first fight of the evening is going to be Rosas versus Rodriguez. Now, I know a little bit about Rosas. I don't know a lot about Rodriguez. Now, that being said, I did go back and read some stats, or some receipts, some would say. And the stats tell me that this is going to be a very close fight. A very close fight. If you look at the stats, they're kind of 50-50. All right? With the, significant punch thrown, the how many punches are thrown during a fight, grappling exchanges, all that kind of nonsense. And this is great because these are two young fighters trying to make a name for themselves. Now, that being said, Rosas is definitely the youngest one. He's 18 years old. That is crazy to be a UFC fighter, and that's his big claim to fame, is his age. And his last fight, he just completely dominated the guy. Like, very easy. With that being said, I have seen a little bit of footage of Rodriguez, and he fares well. I think he fares well. With that being said, I think the edge might go with Rosas because of his, well, let's just be honest, being 18, you could just take as many punches. You could get hit by a train. Like, you can honestly get hit by a train and be okay at 18 years old. So, durability, I think Rosas got it a little bit. And his submission of capability, I think it definitely is better than Rodriguez. So, tomorrow, I predict a decision of Rosas getting the W tomorrow. All right. So, with that being said, we have our second fight of the main card, which is going to be Holland versus Ponzinibbio. All right. So, this I know a lot more about. So, Kevin Holland, great striker. Ponzinibbio, great striker. Holland, shit talker. Ponzinibbio, shit doer. So, it's going to be a battle of who is going to annoy who with whose antics. And I love a fight like that. Kevin is going to talk Ponzinibbio's head off, and Ponzinibbio is going to do backflips. I don't know how you equate this in a UFC fight, but I'm going to go ahead and predict Ponzinibbio by backflip KO. In all seriousness, I think Ponzinibbio has a little bit of a advantage when it comes to wrestling. So if he puts that advantage on Kevin, I think it could go to its decision. However, Kevin is a big striker. He is a phenomenal striker. But his wrestling isn't that great. So if anything, Kevin KOs or TKOs Ponzinibbio, or Ponzinibbio kind of just out-wrestles Holland. That being said, I think Ponzinibbio will get the W for tomorrow's event. With that being said, guys, our next fight, which I really wish was before Kevin versus Ponzinibbio for the hype, is Font versus Yanez. And no disrespect to these fighters. It's just, I like the bigger names. I'm just bigger name bias. Like I said, I'm a dirty casual. So, with that being said, Font, definitely a great striker. Yanez, definitely a great striker. it's in these bantamweight bouts where you have two great strikers and they also have great defense. It just kind of, it might just go to a decision, and it might be a split decision. However, I do see Font might have the edge just because I think he might be a little bit more powerful than Yanez, and he has more experience. So, just a look at it. I mean, they're pretty equally matched, but I think Font might have the little bit of edge with the talent here. So I predict a split decision W for Font. However, I mean they could finish each other at any moment. That's the problem with bantamweight fights when people are equally matched. It's just they punch so often and the energy is so high. Anything can happen at any second. So I honestly think they're so equally matched. If it goes to the decision, Font will win it. So that is my prediction for the third fight of UFC 287. With that being said, we go on to our next one, which is the big one. The big one. And I will even say some people are more hyped for this match than the main event. Just because Burns is a powerhouse and Masvidal, well, we all know he is the Miami gangster. So, with that being said, Masvidal is getting old, okay? Not saying he's bad. He's getting old, and he is on a 3-loss fight streak, which is not good coming into this fight, okay? Burns, he still has that youth with him, and he definitely has that power still with him as well. Now, with wrestling, I think Burns definitely has the advantage. With striking, I think Masvidal might have a slight edge in power. Now, for skill-wise, I think Burns might have it, on the stand-up game skill-wise. But that being said, I mean, Masvidal just has that dog in him. I don't think he's going to quit that easily. You really have to just put Masvidal out, which I don't know 100% sure if Gilbert can do. I know he can out-wrestle Masvidal, but can he finish him? Doesn't really happen that often. So, for this fight, my heart says, Burns. In my brain, so kind of small. Also says Burns. Like I said, I think Gilbert Burns is an overall better fighter than Masvidal, and Masvidal is just getting older. He's just getting older. He I don't think he could take many wars anymore. So yeah, I think Burns might just go ahead and go in there, and I'm not going to give you 100% certain that it's going to be a finish by Burns, but I know that if it goes to decision, it will be Burns. So that is my prediction for the co-main event. We're going to go ahead and get into the main event, which is obviously Perieria versus Adesanya. Now, everyone thinks Adesanya is going to get starched, absolutely broken in this fight, and I completely disagree. I think it's going to be a very, very even fight. Okay, if you saw their whole trilogy, until the two finishes, every second has been very back and forth. Okay, so I honestly think, and if you even look at the live odds, they're very even. So, my opinion, I still think Adesanya might have a little bit of discouragement in there. Like, he might feel, maybe not all mentally there for this fight. Of course, that's the big story. Can he overcome the mental game? I think he can, but at the same time, if you watch the pre-fight interviews, he says that he's going to kill him, he's going to let the dog out or something, and he says that he was winning the whole fight last fight, which wasn't true. It was kind of back and forth until he got KO'd. So maybe he's not all there, and that's really going to change the factor here. He needs to be in the right mindset to win this fight, and if he's not, I think Perieria is definitely going to go ahead and win tomorrow's fight. And Perieria has been working on his ground game, so I don't think Adesanya is going to hug him against the fence. I'm not saying that he can do that against Pereira, but if you think he's going to take the safe route, or if there is a safe route, I don't think there is. He's going to have to either play it really smart, have a good game plan, and finish him either by decision, or win by decision rather, or finish him being, timing his shots right. And man, he better not get hit with that left hook. I'm just telling you that. Or honestly, any any big shots in the later rounds. Pereira, he just keeps that power from the 1 second to all the way up to like the the fifth, the last round. 20 minutes. So yeah, man, I think Pereira might just go ahead and win by decision. That's my prediction. I can see a way where Adesanya wins, but I don't have, too much, thought. I don't have too much belief in that, let's say. I think it's just Pereira might be in his head right now, which is not good. So Pereira by decision. That is my UFC 287 prediction here. So just to recap, we have Rosas versus Rodriguez. I said Rosas. Next, we have Holland versus Ponzinibbio. I believe it's going to be Ponzinibbio. We have Font versus Yanez. I said Font. And then we have Burns versus Masvidal. We're going with Burns. And then, of course, Pereira versus Adesanya 2. I am going with Pereira. Alrighty, guys. So, that is my prediction for 287. So, if you like the predictions, go ahead and like the channel. Go ahead and subscribe. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and dislike or comment. My name is Kane for Gains, and thanks for clicking on the video today.